crap around. Hey, everybody. Hey, we're live. Welcome to the pre-show. Brought to you by spinwizcomics.com. That's right, Spinwiz Comics, also on iOS and Android. Please check them out. They've got a lot of great things, including free comics, but don't take my word for it. Yeah, that's right. Spinwizcomics.com. A crap ton of creators. That is an actual measurement. All kinds of books, over 400 titles, and literally it's free comics. I'm not even sure why you're still listening. Honestly, go over there, check them out. Spinwizcomics.com. It's for real. It's free comics. So, yeah. Well, this is the pre-show where we talk about what we're gonna do on the show, and let's just get this out of the way because we know we're gonna talk about it. But future shows. This Tuesday, yes, it is going to be top 5 graphic novels and trade paperbacks. Literally, just before we went to air, I was retooling my list again because I looked at my list and I said I hate it. And then I did a little bit more research and I had a book on there that doesn't quite fit what we're doing. It's not one graphic novel; it's a longer series, more of a run. So I had to
There's
change
not
that
an
around.
omnibus of it anywhere.
No, it's that huge. It's that giant. If you're in the chat, say hi. Welcome to the pre-show.
I feel like at a certain point you just got to pull the trigger and let your list be itself.
Exactly. I think I have a pretty good list. I still hate one of my entries, even though it belongs on the list. For me, myself, and I know.
I'm looking forward to that explanation. Okay.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. But anyway, we are doing that Tuesday. The comic book bullies are going to be hanging out with us, Leroy and Eli. So yeah, it's on top 5 graphic novels, trade paperbacks. And then the Tuesday after that is the Geek collection, the best of the best of. Oh, there's Brian. Hey, Brian, how's it going, bro? We're going to be talking about a lot of great stuff this episode, dude. Here in a little while, we're going to go over what we're going to talk about here in a bit. But Geek collection, best of the best of geek cinema. Gremlins is on the list.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for this.
And we're doing that next Tuesday. That'll be
one of my favorite Christmas
15th,
movies.
15th. It looks like it's Tuesday the 8th. 6th, yeah, so the 15th.
So apparently, as people are wont to do, I've seen a lot of arguments lately about what is and what isn't really a Christmas movie.
That argument's been going around for a while. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's always about. But
if Christmas is going on, it's a Christmas movie.
I think that a good way to approach it is if you took everything Christmas out of the movie, how much would the movie have to change? If it's something like Die Hard, barely at all. They could be there for like a retirement party or a birthday party or something.
It's so important for the theme, though.
Not really. I mean,
in Gremlins, Christmas is very important to the theme of the whole movie.
No, that argument is not one we should have right now.
All right, fine.
That's a crazy because and there's no.
Right we'll definitely end up having this argument at some point during the Geek collection. I can guarantee you that.
That might start off the conversation.
Probably it's an easy starting point.
Right. Yeah. Segment 1, it's a bit divisive. I have something I got to say about there. News. We're going to be talking about Children of the Atom, at least on my list. The Warner Brothers movies and Naomi. I think we're going to touch on Plastic Man, as well as some new comic book creators. Adam, did you do that? Are you?
No, I didn't pull up the list.
Let's do it next week. We'll do that next week. Maybe there'll be none. But
that really we'll do it tomorrow.
That's not till March, dude. That's
not till March.
So yeah, we'll skip that. To hell with it.
But we are going to talk post future state stuff you guys were talking about.
It's post future state. New creative teams, really.
Basically, all the future state teams are going to be the teams going forward. Is kind of what it looks like.
Oh, they're really banking on future state going well. Then I guess.
I guess. So yeah, we're gonna cover all those WB movies coming to HBO Max early. I got some food news, and there's a choice. So you guys
there's a choice in food news.
There's a choice. You guys get to pick your poison. And then, man, a lot of dope comics this week, but my list is very Marvel heavy. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Anything else you guys want to cover in the pre-show before we start the actual show? I want to start the actual show. Nothing. Thanks, guys, for having me.
No, man,
back.
let's just start the damn show.
Start the damn show.
You were reaching over as though to push a button to start the actual show.
That's what it is.
Oh, we're about to be muted. I guess there's no point in responding.
All right, let's
just hit the fucking button. Whatever
again.
you do.
Check the spinwizcomics.com, y'all. Okay, also on iOS and Android. Do not miss out. Go get your damn free comics. So yeah, let's start this thing. I'm not even sure which one I picked. I just it says intro.
This is bad comedy.
Oh, it's one of my faves.
I think my favorite is the one with Data.
Oh yeah, well you're biased. You're Trek geek. You're biased because I got a Star Wars one in there too. Have I ever played the Star Wars one where it's just Vader going, no?
Yeah, you played that one.
Greetings, geeks. Pardon me. Welcome back to another episode of this Geek in Comics Outright Geekeries comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
I am your co-host Gomer. With me, as always, co-host Adam Normal, co-host Taylor. No, aka David this week. Whatever.
Nope.
We don't even
He's on assignment.
Yeah, he's on assignment. How's it going, guys? How was your week? How was your
That's
week?
pretty solid.
Me too,
Yeah, I
man.
can't complain. Just been hanging out, enjoying Christmas, watching a lot of Christmas specials lately.
I rewatched Lord of the Rings.
Oh, did
recently.
you? I rewatched
Nice.
that recently, like a month ago. Yeah.
Theatrical
cool.
or extended edition?
It will. I'm not even sure how to tell. It's so damn long.
What do you mean? That is
watched it on
not an
Hulu.
answer to that question.
It was on Hulu.
It is
It said
Was
extended.
it 3
every
hours
time.
long or 4 hours long?
The last one, The Return of the King,
Yeah.
it was only 3. It was longer
Okay,
than
then
3.
that's probably theatrical, and you're
That was
filthy
probably
casual.
theatrical. Yeah.
Dude, that was damn long enough, bro. I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong, but it's great for a long time, man.
Oh, it is. They're long movies.
If everything in the movie is serving a purpose and
Sure.
you're enjoying yourself while you're doing it, it can be as long as it wants to be.
Sure, that's not wrong. Hey, there's Todd. Hey, Todd. How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. We're going to talk about a lot of dope stuff in a little bit. Also, I wanted to mention the holiday movies that made us on Netflix. It's a documentary series.
Okay.
They did the toys that made us,
Yep.
and then they did the movies that made us. So now
They're
doing.
branching out all over the place.
So this is the holiday movies that made us.
I think there's video games that made us too somewhere in there.
Oh yeah, or maybe it's on the way.
I don't think I've seen any of these. They actually sound like something I'd want to check out.
They are very
They're
dude.
very good documentaries. You
The
should.
toys one is so dope because it's
Oh.
Transformers, it's G.I. Joe, it's all that
Star
cool
Wars.
crap. Oh, it's all that cool
We did a
crap.
Star
dude.
Trek episode for
They
Star
had
Trek
Power
toys.
Rangers. They had a Power Rangers
Yeah.
episode that was very good. But the holiday movies that made us only has 2 episodes. Nightmare Before Christmas, which is pretty good. That was Danny Elfman's first gig
Yep.
as like a
Danny
composer.
Yep.
It's like, whoa, wow, Oingo Boingo. And then he was actually the original voice for Jack. But they, of course, changed it out. But there's a lot of drama there. But Elf was also one of there. And, dude,
That's a solid pick.
it's so good.
Like, okay, so in my head, like Elf
So
is
good.
like, oh, that came out recently, right? But no, that was like 20
No, that
goddamn
came out
years
like
ago.
that came out a while
Yeah.
ago.
When they filmed that, dude, Will Ferrell was not a very popular actor in Hollywood. He had just been in like a couple of things before that movie
yeah, he's
came
just been in,
out.
like Zoolander.
Was
Yeah,
Elf like
not yet.
pre-Anchorman?
No, he hadn't done that. He had only done that. Dun, 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 when they're at the
Oh,
club.
that
Oh,
Roxbury
Night at the
movie.
Roxbury.
Roxbury. But
That's a bad movie.
after Elf had filmed, but before it came out, that man, what's that college movie where he streaks in it?
Oh, Old School.
Old school.
Old School. And that just rocketed his career. But everyone was like, wait, the dude from the Streaks is going to be in this kids movie. So they changed it and didn't really market it as a kids movie. But as things happen all these years later, he's just
Oh yeah. Now
You know,
it's
it's
a-
another like really
That's
early Will
classic.
Ferrell thing. Never seen Elf. No, that's just it's pretty good. Yeah,
I like it.
it's
Holiday
I
classic.
think it's there. Yeah, in the pantheon holiday movies. Sure.
Definitely now. Yeah.
And Mando just keeps getting better. That was my week.
Oh yeah. We should definitely talk about Mando today because that was like
Let's talk
sick.
about it right now. The first thing I'd like to say is, everyone, I hate to disappoint you. Kathleen Kennedy is still executive producer of Star Wars and of The Mandalorian. Okay, David Filoni, nothing but respect and props. Jon Favreau, same damn thing, dude. They've created something awesome. They still getting all the hard questions answered by the same person who got crapped on really hard. And it's weird to me. I had the conversation earlier today. It's weird to me that there's always blame to go around when there's a failure. But the credit that goes around when there's a success is sometimes a little bit, not as.
Yeah.
It doesn't go around as much. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's weird to me. It's just weird to me. It's weird. But yeah, Mando was dope. What?
Yeah,
Finally, Boba Fett, something for you to do.
Boba Fett finally did something outside of Clone Wars, I guess.
Be an action figure. Be a dope action figure. That's
like,
it.
As cool as Boba Fett always looked, and as much as people remember from the original trilogy, he didn't do a damn thing in those movies except get
he just stood around.
Except get
girls.
fucking sent into the Sarlacc by freaking blind Han Solo by accident.
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Where's Boba Fett?
So yeah, this was like our best showcase
of a Mary Sue. Is that the opposite of a Mary Sue? Where he's
I guess kind of, yeah. I don't know what the name of that would be.
But he's really worthless as hell.
Well, in this episode, he definitely re-earned his badass credentials because he was out there freaking wrecking stormtroopers both in and out of armor.
Yeah, it was rad, dude. It was rad.
Like, Mando was like missing in action for most of the episode, or at least for that big fight scene there, and it was mostly just what's her name, Ming-Na Wen's character, and Boba Fett going around just wrecking motherfuckers.
Wrecking them, dude. It was so good. It had a lot of good stuff with Moff Gideon in there.
Yeah.
The Death Trooper showed up, even though they didn't really do anything. Yeah, they just flew down, picked up the baby, and flew away. It's kind of like Iron Man.
that's Star Trek, or that's just Star Wars, man.
Yeah.
You always just show something cool that doesn't really do anything, but as long as it looks cool, then that's all you need.
Spoiler. We're gonna spoil everything we can.
Spoilers, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, we always spoil on this,
but
it's the whole week.
This season has had a lot of cameos, but they've handled all these cameos really damn well. Like, I haven't been disappointed by any of these characters showing up and just looking like absolute badasses.
Well, not only are they doing cameos, like you said, but they also have all the characters are returning.
Well,
new characters are being introduced on screen.
What it really feels like to me is these are just all backdoor pilots for all of these characters to have their own spin-off series at some point.
Go that way. I don't know if it's meant to do that, but I mean, it could.
They need something to fill out their Disney Plus.
Didn't we hear rumblings about them doing a Boba Fett series?
I would love it if they did.
Oh man, Boba Fett. I mean, it's really all they could do. I'd be okay with that. That'd be fine.
I mean, if it's more of what we saw in this episode, yeah, I'm down.
Him hanging around just doing ninja shit. Yeah, man.
I mean, I guess the tricky thing is like, is it different enough from Mandalorian?
To stand on its own.
Yeah. It's two Mandalorians effectively going around doing cool stuff.
Well, the biggest part of the episode was his ship got blown up.
It did.
Whatever.
I mean, I never had an emotional attachment to his ship, so that didn't hit me too hard. But,
that's where the emotional attachment to a ship, at least in my prediction, will come true by the end of this season. They're still all, adventuring together. They're going to help him rescue the child who, again, spoiler, got kidnapped by the Empire, what's left of it. But, dude, Slave One is going to be the Mandalorians by the end. Totally. By the end of this season. And Boba Fett's going to die. I'm sorry. He's done. He's dead. He's finished.
I don't think they're going to do that.
They have to, man. Heroic ending to.
He's going to fall into another Sarlacc pit.
Right. He'll fall into it. Only the second one. He's like, man, these things are everywhere. Let's get into the news. Let's get into the actual news. I'll start us off with some comic book news because there's not much that we're actually touching on this week. But sad news, kind of. Children of the Atom, which is a comic that's supposed to come out in terms of Dawn of X, but it's been delayed again.
Again?
Now it's not coming out until March 3rd. It was originally solicited before the pandemic, and then it was solicited for, I think, November or December. It had to have been December if they're announcing it just now. But, yeah, pushed again till March. It looks cool, man. I got some interior art. Vita Ayala and Bernard Chang is doing the art on it.
Yeah.
It's good. These are sort of like...
I like Bernard Chang. He's got great art.
X-Men sidekicks. Who the heck are these kids? They're not clones. They're not... I don't know.
Right, and this is like a mini, right? It's not an ongoing.
I'm not sure about that either. That might be part of the reason why it's delayed. They may want to make it an ongoing. But there's no reason. There was absolutely no reason given for why this happened. But yeah, that sucks, man. I'm really looking forward to this. In the meantime, though, we do have Sword #1 coming out next week.
I'm really looking forward to that next week.
I don't have any X-Men to really talk about.
It's the first time in a while we haven't had an X thing to talk about.
I know, it sucks. Oh, well. It's not funny. I'm really bummed out that Ten of Swords is over. Go ahead, Adam. Throw some news. Do you have anything?
Okay. I'll throw some news. Warner Brothers is dropping all of their movies in 2021. Oh, yeah, we're dropping this. Yeah, they're dropping all of their movies in HBO Max.
Yeah, here's all the logos for everything dropping. I got a list. Let's just go over the list real quick. It only take a few minutes.
I'm actually really excited for this. I'm probably going to watch most of these movies.
I'm going to watch every single damn one of them. Mortal Kombat, January 15th.
All over that.
Yeah, I'm all over that, dude. The Little Things. That's a Denzel Washington joint, I guess. Tom and Jerry the movie.
Interesting.
Chloe Grace Moretz and Michael Pena are somehow going to be in there. The Many Saints of Newark. That's a Michael Gandolfini, Ray Liotta sort of thing. John Bernthal is in that as well. Reminiscence, Hugh Jackman thing in that. It's a sci-fi dude in the future, transform the city of Miami. He has this unique ability to let his clients revisit any memory in their past. And when he meets May, he immediately falls for her, but another client's memories make him question what he thought he knew about her. It sounds kind of like maybe a superhero power thing. Here's the big one. Godzilla Kong.
Yep, that's what I'm excited
Billy
for.
Bobby Brown coming back for that. Adam Wingard also coming back. So, yeah, that's the big sequel.
Yep.
Big monkey.
Matrix 4. That's another big sequel.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not out yet. I'm not there yet. Hold on. The Conjuring, the second best shared movie universe in history. That's June 4th.
Yep. Love those movies.
In the Heights. Lin-Manuel Miranda's new one.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Dude's a genius. I don't care what he does. I'm gonna watch it. The new Space Jam with LeBron James.
Hell yeah.
July 16th. Another big one, Suicide Squad, Margot Robbie, John Cena, Idris Elba, Joel Kinnaman, James Gunn directed, August 6th. Paul and Lady Jessica that's Dune. October 1st. That's no explanation needed there. This is a weird one, Elvis on November 5th. Austin Butler, but Tom Hanks is also going to be in it. It's a biopic.
Interesting. Ooh.
Yeah. Austin Butler is playing Elvis, but Hanks is playing Colonel Tom Parker.
Okay.
So that should be interesting, dude. I'll watch anything Tom Hanks is in.
Pretty much, yeah.
Will Smith's King Richard comes out on November 19th. I don't even know what to think about that, dude. That's just weird. And then over a full year
watch
away.
Will Smith do some Shakespeare.
Over a full year away. Your theaters, I'm not even being optimistic. Theaters will most likely be open by December 22nd. Matrix 4. Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Jada Pinkett Smith, everybody coming back.
A pretty conservative timetable, I think, for theaters being open is probably by the summer.
Yeah. And they're open now. These movies are still going to be dropped in theaters, but there are restrictions. There are city and local closures and things like that. Let's get back to the list real quick. It's only a couple more. Judas and the Black Messiah, that's to be announced. I don't know anything about that either. Based on the true story of Fred Hampton, it was a Black Panther Party He was in the Rage Against the Machine song. That's really the only place I know him. Malignant, and they should do a movie about it, and they are awesome. That's James Wan's new thing. Very little is known about Malignant. Those Who Wish Me Dead. The last 3 movies don't even have announcements. So anyway,
So
it's in the chat. It's in the chat. Our Geeker. I don't know how that's happening. It's probably Henry. Now Disney needs to drop Black Widow. In my opinion, this is Warner Brothers dropping down a gauntlet for the rest of the streamers.
It is kind of.
This is probably the major motivation behind all this is to give HBO Max a shot in the ass here.
Well, the motives.
That's been the big major problem with Disney Plus. Let's be honest, because other than The Mandalorian, what has there been to watch on there?
Speaking of Lin-Manuel Miranda, Hamilton. It's the only thing I watch on there.
Yeah,
I've seen all the Marvel movies a dozen times. I don't need to watch them again. You know what I mean? But yeah, I watch Hamilton on there like once a month. Yep. Dude, the first month it was out, I watched it like every day. But yeah, that's the only reason to have it. Anyway, so
there are several movies on here that I think are definite must-sees. I'm waiting and trying to get to before. But most of those sound like they're going to be late enough in this cycle that I'm probably still going to go see them in movie theaters anyway. When was Godzilla vs. Kong coming out?
When is what?
Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh, that's early on in the run.
Okay.
May 21st.
Okay, so I don't know yet.
It's on the border of whether or not things work out the way that the direction that things are going.
If things go well, maybe that's a one. And that is one I would rather see on the big screen. You know, this is the type of big spectacle movie that I want to watch, you know.
Monster.
Yeah, with popcorn in my hand and all that other stuff.
Sure. Well, Mortal Kombat as well, I would think. You know, if that's your thing. That's just
I don't know though, because I wouldn't necessarily want to spend $20 to go see Mortal Kombat. That's the good thing about all of these coming on to HBO Max is there's a lot of these movies that I wouldn't necessarily spend the money to go see at the movie theater, but since I already have HBO Max, hell, I'll watch them anyway. Like that's Mortal Kombat.
Of things like the Suicide Squad and Mortal Kombat. These are the types of movies I was really on the fence about. And if I do have the option to watch them at HBO Max instead, that seems like a good option to me.
My sub for another month.
Mm-hmm.
So this leads to the question: is this the new normal moving forward? I guess this is an experiment, right?
Probably.
I've seen a lot of people pointing out that this is probably just an acceleration of where we were probably going to end up anyway.
I 100% agree. I think that might have been me who said that, but I do. I agree with that.
It seems like an intelligent thing to say, so I don't think it could have been you, but
sure. Innovation comes slowly. Why? Because change is hard, especially when you're making a bunch of money. People don't want to take a risk and do something. The pandemic is sort of speeding a lot of that along in terms of what we can actually do and how to do that. You know, because if WB can't release movies in theaters and get the kind of money they want, why not reinvest those expenditures, the production of these movies, into something that we have right now? And I think it all depends on this, if this is successful or not. If they get
I think it will be.
How many subscribers do you think we're getting for Wonder Woman? Because Wonder Woman is 2 weeks away now.
I noticed that they're doing away with getting any sort of free trials at this point. That you can get it at a discount, but you are paying to see Wonder Woman.
Well, and sure, and that's a good move. That's a good move.
I don't blame them. I mean, I wouldn't want to drop something that I was expecting to make like maybe $1 billion on if it went on theaters, only for people just to abuse a free trial and just watch it that way anyway.
Sure. Thomas, thanks for stopping by. He brings up a good point. But movies are going to come back. I hope the experience.
Yeah, movies will never go away all the way. Movies will always be a niche experience. There'll always be there'll always be some sort of movie for people to go out to.
Well, like Taylor was saying.
I'm 1,000% of the opinion that there are several movies that I would always choose to go see them in the theater. And I particularly do like going to movie theaters. And
how many movies a season? Let's take, there's like 3 major seasons for releasing brand new movies. There's like the Christmas, and then there's just in the spring, and then there's the summer blockbuster, right? Fall really kind of gets wrapped on. when it comes to, and even in the heat of the winter, like February, like Black Panther was the biggest release in February ever by like a mile because no
That
one
was a
released.
unique circumstance too, because they wanted to
Sure.
release it during Black History Month.
My point, exactly.
Yeah.
But how many of those movies every year or every season are those must-see in the theater movies? One, maybe two, if you're really lucky. If it's a good MCU year for the past decade, that's really what's been driving that.
Well, I stand MCU movies, so I'll go see any of them in the theaters. But
that's what I'm saying.
outside of that,
What else is there?
Maybe one or two a year. You're right. For most audiences, we gotta go now.
Is that enough to sustain a business model that relies on companies like AMC having all of these houses, where they can show movies, all of these projectors?
Well, I think
that
movies.
grants them a leverage over.
I think movies in the future, and I'm talking long term, will probably become more sort of kind of like the Alamo draft houses. It'll become more of a special thing to do. Yeah, right. And they'll show select movies. Yeah, it'll be a real niche thing to do. Like it'll still exist going to the movie theater, but it won't be.
I hope that the chain survives, but yeah, you're absolutely right that in all likelihood they'll probably have to scale down.
It might be where
to remain profitable.
It might be where if you're going to go to the movies, you're not going to go to a theater in your hometown. You're going to go to a theater in a major town. Like for us, for instance, we're in the Nashville area, but we're north of Nashville. We're in a suburb, but we have a theater with like 20 screens, not 5 minutes from us, right? Is it going to be where we're going to, if there's going to be a multiplex, it's going to have to be like something that we go to, drive a distance to get to. It's going to be weird. It's going to be, and I think maybe that's part of why WB is doing this. They see the writing on the wall. They know the model is going to change. They know there's going to be less screens. They're like, let's start that ball rolling now. If we're heading to the future, even if the model does stay what the traditional model has been, they still have that experiment done, and maybe some of the movies don't go to the streaming.
If this is always going to happen anyway, then they have nothing to lose right now.
Exactly.
Circumstances have forced their hand in a sense.
Exactly, Tom. So you're talking about like niche stuff, the industry changing, and it's going to have to.
It's going to have to.
For me, that sucks. I was an hour away from my nearest city. Well. And like I said, we can, and like we were alluding to, you can still count on like little home mom and pop theaters. Those are still possible to be a thing if they are allowed to show older movies, classic movies, things like that, when the big blockbusters aren't there. You know what I mean? It's weird. I don't know, man. Going to the movie seems like it's going to be a passe thing, like a thing of the past. You know what I mean? That people just don't do anymore.
Well, that'll make me sad, but
it would make me sad because I do love going to the movies.
Let's touch on this other thing that I got before any other news. Naomi is been picked up for not green light yet, just optioned as far as I know.
That could be cool. Yeah. I didn't pick that up because Bendis, but it's a cool concept.
She's cool. Ava DuVernay is attached.
Man, she needs to make that New Gods movie before she makes this one.
Her and Tom King are working on it. Tom King can't stop writing bad Batman comics.
I didn't hate this one.
Batman Catwoman?
I didn't hate that.
Yeah, I like it.
I might kick you off the damn show. It was one of the worst comics I've ever read. It was terrible.
Man, you're just a grouchy old man.
Executive producer Jill Blankenship is also involved. She was a writer on Arrow, so the character originally debuted in her own standalone comic in 2019, co-written by Bendis, as we mentioned, as well as David F. Walker. Jamal Campbell did the art. That was the reason to buy the book. Jamal Campbell's art on this was amazing. Naomi has energy-based powers as well as the ability to transform into superpowered form that granted her incredible strength and abilities. She is the daughter of aliens who sort of used Earth as a refugee thing or whatever. So good news, man. More comic stuff on TV and other places can only mean good things for comics. So there you go. Naomi.
My
issue number 2 jumped up like 200%
Pretty much, yeah. If they do make a movie for that, Naomi, not a lot of people bought that. So if you were one of the few people who did,
it's rarity, and if it gets,
the cool thing about it is
takes off.
Number 2 went up too, just on the thought that they're probably going to introduce her parents too, who are also kind of powered, characters.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, any other news before I get to food news?
The only other thing I heard this week was that they're making a Metal Gear Solid movie where Oscar Isaac's apparently going to be Solid Snake.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which that'd be cool, I guess.
Daddy or whatever.
Whatever. They're all clones of each other. So.
I know, they're all the same guy. Dude, the problem with Metal Gear Solid is it's super complicated.
Yeah, we're already talking, like, we haven't been talking about this for like 30 seconds yet. We've already gotten to the fact that every character is like a clone of the other characters. Metal Gear Solid is a truly beloved video game franchise, but it is weird as fuck. And I don't know that story is going to translate very well to a movie.
Well, hey, maybe they'll be able to edit it down a little bit, make it make a little bit more sense.
Well, I'm hoping for a trilogy so they can sort of.
If they do that, that editor deserves like
an Oscar,
whatever the Academy Award for that is.
Yeah. The problem is the complexity. One of those games has a 70-minute cutscene.
It does.
Is that more right?
I don't even remember.
My favorite part about the fourth one was that when you installed it onto your PlayStation, he smoked a cigarette in real time as it installed onto your PlayStation on screen.
Too, man. That's pretty cool. So yeah, Oscar Isaac's attached. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna be garbage. Most video game movies are garbage. But
whatever. The bar for video game movies is pretty low. The fact that Sonic the Hedgehog and Detective Pikachu are some of the best video game movies I can think of is really saying a lot.
Have you ever seen Pixel with Adam Sandler and Kevin James?
Shit.
President? Dude, that movie is awesome.
No,
You're
it's
crazy. Wreck-It Ralph is the best video game movie.
I'm going to kick you off this damn podcast.
Okay, I'll give you Wreck-It Ralph, but fucking Pixel, man.
Yeah. Pixel is Wreck-It Ralph, kind of.
No,
it's just as stupid and dumb. Yes, just because one's a cartoon. Do you want to do?
Let's just move on.
Yes, please do food news.
Oh wait, real quick though. Apparently, they're also making a Plastic Man movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Plastic Man's a pretty niche character. I feel like he's one that has not penetrated the wider pop culture outside of comic circles.
Remember when he used to host his own cartoon show back in the day? Am I way
I
older?
Do not remember that. No.
I don't remember that
either.
It
was so weird because there would be a guy in a Plastic Man costume, like live action, like doing the bumpers, after the commercials and before the commercials, on the cartoon show.
Yeah.
Like he would do this weird shit where he would lean forward and then it would cut to a tire, like a car tire, painted like Plastic Man, rolling across the set. Like his ass turned into a tire. Dude, young me was like, "Holy shit! We're at the best special effects are ever gonna be."
But Plastic Man is
gotta make that one of those intro videos.
Yeah, Plastic Man's a very historically significant character in that the old Jack Cole series did a lot to kind of like inject humor into comics in a big way. And the character has had a lot of like say what?
Like superhero comics.
Yeah.
Humor into superhero comics.
Yeah. And then he shows up in the Justice League, off and on over the decades. Plastic Man's one of those characters though where like kind of like Deadpool in that if the writer is just there to make him like, waka waka, zany, it's annoying as shit. But if they're actually like, handled pretty well, it's a really likable character.
Yeah, and you're right. Plastic Man set a lot of the framework for Harley Quinn, the Deadpools, even the early like Howard the Duck stuff and things like that, where Marvel was still trying to figure out how to do that sort of thing. Yeah. This is going to have a female lead. That's
apparently.
At least the...
This is something they can probably get away with fairly well because most people do not know who Plastic Man is. So they can change a lot about the character.
Yeah.
They have a lot of leeway. And I'm sure a lot of people get pissy about it, but if there's any character that can change their form at will, it's Plastic Man. So
if you want to get pissy about it, the only way I can see that, but honestly, I'd argue it easier that it's a positive thing, is what the hell is DC doing with their universe, their movie universe? Plastic Man? Really? That's where we go? Plastic Man? We can't even get the freaking Flashpoint movie done. They won't give us a Man of Steel 2.
Dude, the Flashpoint movie has been a development hell for so long. They should
I don't even want a Flashpoint movie, but
we're
that's fine.
It's gonna happen.
What are they also like? What are they even resetting at this point? They've pretty much done a soft reboot on the whole thing anyway.
Every movie feels like it's a soft reboot.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with every movie not
Wonder Woman.
That's all well and good, but
rebooting the first Wonder Woman movie.
If every movie's going to be this disjointed, there's no real value in having a movie whose whole premise is we're changing everything. There's like nothing to change.
What you're saying is there's no reason to have a movie that changes your shared universe because your shared universe doesn't feel like it's shared at all.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Anyway, because there's gonna be two different versions of the DC universe after Snyder's Justice League cut comes out anyway.
That's so confusing, dude. That's so.
Oh, and speaking of Flashpoint, it was not a good comic series anyway, so I don't know why.
It was terrible. So I don't know why they keep shoving it down our throats.
There were several tie-ins that were really dope.
Some tie-ins were really cool, and it was a cool universe.
Any event's going to like just
the actual story was shit.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, any event, if it has enough tie-ins, some of them are going to be good, just statistically.
I'm just saying though, but good. The Batman stuff from there.
Batman was great.
Stuff,
Jeff Lemire did a Frankenstein series that was really fun.
That was cool. But yeah, you're right. Todd in the chat, Plastic Man could potentially be DC's Deadpool. I agree 100%.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
not going to. It's not going to feel like it's part of the connected universe or shared universe because they haven't done a good job of that. But I think that's a good thing. I think they have more freedom. A sort of
shared universe. Sure. As much as I dearly love the MCU and all that they managed to do, not everyone has to do that. You know?
Oh yeah, agreed. Yeah, let's just have good entertainment.
Like good movies first. Anything else you want to do with interconnectivity is gravy on top, but start worrying first and foremost about making the movies good.
And I think that's why the MCU is so damn good. I think that is their rule. Good movies first, make a damn good movie, and then we'll connect it later and we'll make sure that it works. And yeah, all the props to Kevin Feige. Okay, food news. You guys want sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Oh man, savory.
I'm savory.
Why the fuck did you give us a choice then?
I'll do both.
All right.
If David was here, we'd be able to have the vote. Kit Kat is reported releasing a fruity cereal flavor. Crispy wafers in fruity cereal flavored creme, naturally and artificially flavored. Probably limited edition if they actually come out. But
that's not the worst thing you've shown us on these things. I mean,
still, man.
I would go out and buy one of those, but if one was offered to me, I would try it.
Yeah,
I would try it. And the savory. Lay's is introducing a game day chili.
Oh, I might try one of those.
Dope, dude. 7 3/4 ounce bags are hitting shelves nationwide the first week of January, just in time for the big game, the Superb Owl. Suggested retail price of $3.79. As with many this is probably going to be a limited edition. If you're having chili,
it says right on there, limited time flavor. But so it seems like a pretty good idea. I think that would go over pretty well with a lot of people.
Yeah. That would go very well, like in chili. Like I like putting Fritos in my chili.
Yeah,
exactly.
Gross. That's probably on the Kit Kat.
There's a bit of a delay because it's kind of hard to say.
Got a lot of weird Kit Kat flavors, man. Awesome. So that's your food news. Let's get into. Man, I'm going first this week. I'm so excited. There's some damn good books this week, man. All right, I have an entire list of DC books to crap on, but I'm not going to do it. I've changed my mind.
Dude, we do need to come up. We need like a shit pile segment or something where we just talk shit.
But
I mean, to be honest, it would probably be much, much easier to pick our worst book of the week than it is our best.
Like one, you know.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to do the whole thing, but
yeah.
Batman was bad. Batman Catwoman was bad.
Batman was bad.
Endless Winter was just meh.
Endless Winter would have been perfect in the 90s.
Oh yeah, dude. This even them coming together with it was. I don't even want to talk about it unless it's on one of y'all's lists. Then I'll talk about it. Tales of the Dark Multiverse, Wonder Woman, War of the Gods was also just man. I'm just not a fan of that story. I do have 3 books on my honorable mentions, but I'm only going to mention 2 because I'm pretty damn sure one of them is going to be in y'all's top 3. So I'll mention Spy Island #4 from Chelsea Kane and Elise McCall. Just a whole lot of weird, awesome Chelsea Kane. She's great. I love her so much.
Yep.
She's yeah, Fritos and cheese. Thank you, Thomas. Delicious. But I also wanted to mention Black Widow #4 had a killer ending. And the main reason, where the hell is it? Yeah, let me bring this up. All right, this is the typical art that you're getting from Black Widow. Look at all that.
I'll go ahead and tell you that we'll talk more about Black Widow later. So,
oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So, how about that ending? Awesome. We're gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I won't get into detail on it, and I'll even save the art, dude. I'll save the art.
Okay, I appreciate it.
My #3 book this week, Champions #3, Eve Ewing, Simone DeMeo. The gang is still on the run. Viv is still on the road. The imprisoned youngsters are still causing a ruckus. But, man, this is just a really cool series. I'm enjoying this take on superhuman registration and anti-government sentiment within this cool context of revisiting it for a younger generation. You know what I mean? It feels just as important as Civil War, but this is, in my opinion, a much better spin on it because, yes, Spider-Man. You know, hey, Big Willie in the house. Hey, Big Will. Thanks for stopping by, bro. I appreciate it. Spider-Man. You know what I mean? 16, 14. What was he? 13? Who knows? He's young as hell. I don't know, man. It's so good. But the main reason this is on my list, let me find it, is this right here.
Oh, the X-Men show up?
Cyclops shows up with Dust. He's a former champion, kind of.
Well, no, the other Cyclops.
So
the one that's gone
now. Displaced Cyclops, who is not this Cyclops, was a former champion.
In spirit,
you're wrong.
Former champion, and he's there. He actually gives them Krakoan amnesty and protection as refugees in their own country. Man, that is some deep political crap, and I loved it so much. Dust, he shows up with Dust. You see Dust over here by his side?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Dust is from Afghanistan, so I'm hoping there's some poignant stuff there that they can pull from. Eve Ewing is just,
from the X-Men side of things, isn't this the first group of non-mutants they are officially welcoming to Krakoa?
I'm not sure. Well, yes, I believe so.
Like all the other humans got in trouble when they showed up. Like Doctor Strange did his stupid "I'm floating above the island" bullshit, and the Fantastic Four got in trouble when they showed up.
I'm not touching you.
Not touching you. When the FF showed up, it was kind of the same way.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah, man, I love this issue. I'm loving this series. The outlawed thing is cool. Yeah, it's great. I think it's not better than Civil War, obviously, but I think it reads more timely than Civil War nowadays because the youngsters. So yeah, non-mutants on Krakoa. No, there's only mutants allowed unless they get special permission, and not many have gotten it. Not many. Brian Braddock got special permission.
That's about it. Yeah,
that's about it. Really, I don't even remember who else.
Yep.
But well, all the depowered mutants get special permission, so they can be murdered.
Well, they're still mutants though.
Yeah, so that Apocalypse can kill them, and then they res them as power mutants.
I love it.
That's a weird ceremony, but okay.
Great, it works though. You know.
Hey, I didn't even think about that. Who's the mutant murderer now that Apocalypse is like?
Oh no!
Oh, yeah,
now they do an executioner.
Wow. Taylor here asking the important question.
Probably Exodus. I could see Exodus getting down with it.
He'd have a smart ass attitude about it.
Yeah.
Apocalypse is eagle and honorable about it.
That's all they have left on the council is a bunch of smart asses.
I know, true.
Thank God Nightcrawler stayed, because otherwise, yeah.
So a couple honorable mentions. I'll mention Batman, Catwoman. I didn't hate it like Elmer did. It still wasn't good enough to be in my top 3. Tom King's script was a little weird. His the way this issue was paced was just really weird.
All over the place.
All over the place. That said,
the middle of the page, it would just jump time, and then
jump complete time to a new place.
Back to a third time.
Yeah, it was everywhere. But I loved Clayman's art, and I totally forgot that. I totally forgot that the Mask of Phantasm shit was popping back up in this, and I'm all for that. I'm willing to see how that plays out.
How's it gonna rip a coffin open and somebody crazy be in it? The third time in Batman in recent memory where we've ripped the lid off. I mean, I get the metaphor, I get it. It's important, but come on, dude.
Yeah. Other
shots of Catwoman's ass in this. I didn't count them, but I should have. I'm not talking shit. I don't mind seeing Catwoman's ass.
That's of most Catwoman comic books, though. But yes, I understand.
Blatant after a while, dude. I hate.
And then another honorable mention is gonna be X Factor number 5. I like the team being back together, but they don't really do much in this issue. The only thing that really
asses off.
Do what?
They party their asses off.
Yeah, they party their asses off. But the real interesting thing in this issue is the whole rock slide thing. They finally kind of delve into him a little bit since he is a new character. Yeah, and it's really sad because he's just completely sorry for everything because he knows that he's not the rock slide that he's meant to be.
To Lorna, and I think they're still going to have a connection that's going to be examined throughout this board. But man, back in the day, sometimes there would be X-Men issues where they would just hang out at the mansion and do nothing and only hint at things to come. And this felt like one of those issues.
Yeah, it was still a fun read.
Yeah,
it just
very cool.
Yeah. And then
so much. I love iBoy.
Oh yeah, iBoy's so nice, especially the rock slide. Oh yeah.
5 showed up. I love seeing the 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, awesome. Sorry. Go ahead.
And then one more honorable mention is going to be the Heavy number 3. It was just okay. It's Max Bemis writing this. I think it's Vault Comics.
I think it's Vault. Yeah.
Yeah. This issue was just okay. It was a lot of the villain just explaining the plot. It wasn't as exciting as the other issues. No cum monsters in this one. So my real number 3 this week is going to be That Texas Blood number 6.
I knew it.
From Image Comics. Yep. Chris Condon, Jacob Phillips.
How did I not see this coming?
What do you mean not see it coming?
Who actually killed the brother? How did I not?
How did you not see that coming? I saw that from a mile away.
I did not see it coming, dude.
This issue played out exactly the way I thought it would, but it played it out so well. The pacing of the issue, the art, just the waves from him staring at that picture in the very beginning of the issue is really great. I think there's some nice dialogue in there throughout of it. Yeah, very poignant. Really loved it.
Man, okay, so this whole thing starts out where a brother who's left Texas, the whole arc, goes to Texas because his brother's been murdered. And while he's there, all these memories rush back. His brother's wife or girlfriend, I think it was his wife, sort of, was into him. So all those memories rush back. He was kind of getting into a criminal element that his brother ended up getting deeper into. So that comes rushing back to him. So all these things come rushing back, and it's about revenge. It's almost fucking Shakespearean, dude.
Oh, it is. It totally is.
So, the storytelling is sort of layered, but it's right to the point, and his insanity sort of builds up.
Mm-hmm. But it's really it's very much like Hamlet or Macbeth,
Yeah, dude, and it's just tragic. As he wants to avenge his brother's death, so he goes and murders the crime lords he thinks are responsible. But then it turns out that it wasn't him. It wasn't this crime lord.
Nope.
His brother's old lady.
The one he was banging.
Who he was banging.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It was so weird. Plus, at the end, just the cherry on top, when the actual bad guy murders the other 2 guys, he gets pinned. It's pinned on him. The cops pinned it on him. And it was just this extra little, turn of the knife.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is super.
Then it was great at the very end where they put him in the same police car as his brother's wife. And they don't even say a word to each other. They're just like staring off in the distance.
This might be the best new series of the year.
Oh, I love this book.
This trade is going to be top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And look for more things. I can't believe number 1 still has not hit the spec market. People are missing out. Collectors are missing out on this. This is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big deal. Excellent choice. Taylor, I'm going to have to find you all those issues and get them to you, dude.
Okay, that sounds good.
You should be reading this. It's good.
But for
Number
my
3,
honorable mention. For my honorable mention, I'm also going to do Batman Catwoman, and you can go suck it. The artwork was really good on this, and while there is a lot of really rapid transitions, so like sometimes like the last panel on the page is like jumping to a different timeline. That is hard to keep track of.
Jarring.
It is very jarring.
The artwork on this was fun. I really like the way that Tom King writes Catwoman and Batman's relationship. And honestly, just the appearance of something from Mask of the Phantasm was going to get this an honorable mention no matter what.
Pretty much. That's where I'm landing on it. Because Mask of the Phantasm is, in my opinion, like the best Batman movie.
Wonderful.
I won't argue that.
Yeah. So anything with the Phantasm in it, I'm all over.
Yeah. And this is something where, like, I think that this might read better when you have it all in front of you instead of just this first issue. It might have been something I should have waited for trade for, but...
Well, they're presenting it to me an issue at a time. That's how I'm taking it.
They are, and yes, at the time being, it's hard to tell what the hell exactly is going on, but you probably should have expected that from a Tom King book anyway, right? You know,
it's more confusing than normal, though.
That is absolutely true, but it's not completely out of left field for Tom King, right?
You're not wrong, but I really just want to crap on it even harder now. Go ahead, Taylor.
Do it afterwards. Anyway, for my number 3, I'm going to do Thor number 10.
I'm just going to crap on Catwoman and Batman more. Go ahead, Taylor.
I mean, it's your list. But anyway, my number 3 is Thor number 10.
Cool.
They're taking this to some dark, dark places. Like, apparently, like, Donald Blake not only has all the powers Thor has, but apparently he killed Jormungandr and has all of its powers too. So, yeah, the main thing that makes this my number 3 is the whole battle scene between Donald Blake and like everyone in Asgard, and he is just wrecking their shit. Like, I appreciate that he's not fighting like Thor. He's like using a scalpel for the most part and doing like surgical precision stuff, and not just going around like, you know, lightning and hammers and stuff like Thor would do.
The attention to that detail was perfect, dude.
Yeah. So that's all pretty cool. I don't really like the way that they're kind of dragging the Donald Blake character into like this edgelord darkness shit, but it was still a fun read, and I'm still sticking around for the next one. So I guess that's.
I agree with you. I think that they're doing this, but I'm having a great time watching them do this.
I don't like what they're doing, but I love the way they're doing it.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Leave Donald Blake alone, poor guy.
I mean, this didn't need to be a thing. I mean, who was like clamoring to know what Donald Blake was up to, right? I mean, that's an old holdout of like Silver Age idea that characters still had to have a secret identity anyway.
And it's cool that it's almost cool in a way that they're bringing that into the mix, into the fold a little bit, you know?
For sure.
If you talk about secret identities, quote unquote, Thor's was quite unique. You know, the way they incorporated it into, he was actually like a vessel and a different person when he was Donald Blake. You know what I mean? It was unique in those ways, but
it got really convoluted when they started getting into like Odin created him. Like, to be this.
It's weird, but it's still compelling to explore it. Even though I think it's a stupid idea to explore it.
I mentioned we were talking about part 1 of this, that this reads a lot like an idea that Matt Fraction had during his run. And this is a hell of a lot better than that, but I didn't like it then, and I don't really like it now. So that being said, it's still my number 3 because that fight scene was...
All right, my number 2, Daredevil, number 25. Big book for this week. Chips.
Were you able to read it?
Huh?
Was it at your shop?
It was gone by the time I got there. Yeah,
I had to buy a digital copy. It's good though. I'm glad I did. Zdarsky, Marco Cicchetto back on the book. Daredevil is in jail for second-degree manslaughter, not Matt Murdock, but I'll get into that in a bit because that has different implications that I'm a bit disturbed by. So after stealing the evil billionaire's fortune, Elektra, she bought it up so that they couldn't destroy Hell's Kitchen. She uses it to buy Hell's Kitchen as kind of a present for Matt Murdock, so he can actually go to jail as Daredevil and be this example. So while she has plans of her own, including this wonderful tease for the future, this thing called the Fist, which is like the counterpoint to the Hand. And the fact that she says something like the Fist needs to have a king and a queen, but only one will survive, or something like that. Anyway, after she has this conversation with Matt, after she breaks into jail to visit him, they have a conversation. And she has this amazingly cool discussion with this homeless woman living in Hell's Kitchen. She is persuaded to become the new Daredevil. So Elektra is the new Daredevil. Stick is in this. It's a great climax for what has happened, leading up to him going to Matt Murdock going to prison in this run, while also being a solid start for what's happening next in the series. The art is Marco Cicchetto, so it's just spot on. I have not been this excited for a Daredevil book in quite some time, maybe my entire life. So Matt Murdock is technically not in prison, okay? His twin brother, Mike Murdock, is actually taking on the persona of Matt so they can keep this whole illusion. Yeah.
Back up.
Go ahead.
Matt Murdock has a twin brother named Mike
Matt
Murdock.
has a twin brother named Mike Murdock, who is kind of a loser, but has taken on the role of being Matt Murdock so that they can continue this illusion.
How long has that been part of the lore? Because I had no idea he had a brother.
It's been a little while, dude.
Okay.
It's been okay. Matt Murdock is not in prison. Daredevil is in prison, but it's kind of a good thing because then he doesn't risk losing his whatever. He can still be a lawyer. If you have a second-degree manslaughter conviction, you can't be a lawyer, I think, in every state. I know New York. So I think it's also against the law to have your twin brother pretend to be you while he's being a lawyer.
It's probably against the law to do a lot of things that Daredevil does, but
it's weird to me that Daredevil
really should be disbarred if we're being perfectly honest.
It's weird to me that Daredevil's like, I'm going to be the nice guy and go to prison, while Matt Murdock is committing all of these other crimes. Okay, so they did get. This is a really cool thing. Okay, so this is the first appearance of Elektra as Daredevil. Or is it King in Black #1, which, again, we'll talk about it later. If you'll notice behind Luke Cage over here to the left, that's her back there.
Yeah, it is.
Both came out on the same day. So which book is the first appearance of Elektra as Daredevil?
I don't know how you would break the tie there.
Me neither. It's a very compelling little argument that they're having on the internet. They did get the Elektra right. We will talk about something they did not get right later in King of Black. But
Elektra as Daredevil is one of those things that could either be a silly gimmick or a really cool idea, depending on how they execute it.
Yeah, so far it's been cool. The way they've set it up has been really interesting. So I'm confident that we're going to see some cool things moving forward. It won't be until after King in Black, obviously, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, #2. Daredevil #25, and it was a landmark anniversary sort of issue, and it was still only regular cover price.
That's good. That's rare.
Very rare. It is getting a second printing, so you still have a chance to pick it up in paper if you want. I've been reading it in digital since it dropped, so that's how I buy it. Adam, #2.
My #2 was Hellions #7.
Wow, all
by
over the
Sub Webbs and Steven Segovia. Man, Zub Wells just knows how to write Mr. Sinister. His Mr. Sinister just cracks me up. This issue is another. It's kind of like X Factor. This is an issue where not much happens. It's kind of the team just getting back together. They resurrect Wild Child and Nanny, which is interesting because they were murdered or they were killed in Araco. And so now, since they're coming back in Iraqi bodies, Iraqi form.
More conducive to survival in the barren wastelands of Rocco, like
Right.
hardier and
more primal a little bit. Yeah.
Which is cool. Different
yeah, it's really cool. Their bodies look a little different. Wild Child looks younger and slimmer, and
he's taller. He's a little bit more buff, and he's not like he was wiry.
Yeah, he was wiry before, and now he has like a swimmer's bod or something.
Yeah, he's super hot now.
Yeah, so hot. But other than that, not much really happens in this one. But man, like I said, he really knows how to write Mr. Sinister. I can read him doing Mr. Sinister in any book.
He's very melodramatic. He writes a melodramatic Sinister in this, who is pleading with the council to resurrect his team, and
it's also great. It's also great after he resurrects his team, and he's like giving them pep talks, but he's also trying to avoid how they died in the last mission.
Also, some moments in this that I'm not even sure if you're aware of some of the things going on in here. Orphan Maker, his mutant power is deadly. Mm-hmm. He needs to have a suit. But what's her name? That little egg chick. What's her name again?
Nanny.
Oh yeah, Nanny. She made the suit out of her spaceship, but some secret agency, science agency, has her ship. So that's going to be their next mission. There's like this AI that Sinister has, and they murder it on purpose.
They do.
That's weird, dude. That was weird. I'm sorry.
But Sinister was so sad.
X-Men comics where AI are always such an important part and sentient. Like there's no AI in X-Men.
These aren't good guys. These aren't the good X-Men. This is like the Suicide Squad.
They also have this moment between Psylocke and Mr. Sinister where they're talking about her daughter, right? Her kid.
Yeah, her kid.
And they talk about what was this drug? Anyway, that's all from Fallen Angels. That's all from the Fallen Angels book.
Did anybody read Fallen Angels?
I did. I'm the only one I know of who read it. The art was amazing. The writing was not so good. I love X-23, so I kept reading it. But yeah, it's cool that they're sort of bringing that into the mix. But I think that's going to fall on a lot of deaf ears. People aren't going to know what that is and not care enough to go back and read Fallen Angels. So good on Zeb Wells to do it, but I saw it as a black spot on the book. Let's leave that shit alone.
Mm-hmm.
Psylocke's compelling enough and cool enough, interesting enough without dealing with continuity from that.
Hickman, though, they got to tie up all that continuity.
They don't. They can just leave it. Anyway, good choice. Good read. I'm kind of down on X-Men right now because
I know you are.
Sword is over. Sword next week, though. Anyway, number 2, Taylor.
My number 2, I'm doing Strange Adventures number 7. Oh. I continue to enjoy this week in, week out. It's probably not as good as Mr. Miracle was, but this issue was a lot of fun because apparently Adam Strange has been kidnapped by the Pict, at least in like the flashback segment. And the way that they torture him is that he is getting warped around constantly. Like his mind is being shuffled around from place to place to place to place to place. And then occasionally he'll come back to his own body, and his torturer, who is like, basically it's like you're being tortured by like Cheech Moran. He's like, whoa, man, where'd you go this time? And then like, he's like just very chill and lackadaisical about the mental anguish he's putting him through. I also enjoyed the opening to this because apparently in the modern timeline, the Pict have arrived on Earth, and you see Batman, he's Batman. He takes it. I was like, now you're going to tell, and then Adam just shows him and just blasts his head off.
Oh, wow.
And it's just like, whoa, what the hell did you do? It's like, oh, I killed him. It's like, that's not what we do. It's not what you do because you're a superhero. I'm not a hero. So, and then he just like flies off. So
what's the basic theme of this series as a whole? I picked up the first issue. I was not a fan. It didn't strike me as hard as some of the other King books that I really did. But yeah,
it seems to be about what people go through during war, how it changes them, and kind of how it darkens them, because apparently there's a lot of shady shit that Adam Strange has been up to. Like there was you remember the first issue, that guy who like harassed him at the book signing or whatever?
Yeah.
And then like the thing at the end of the issue was like, someone killed him. Was it Adam Strange? It was.
Yeah.
It was Adam Strange. They actually reveal that
wow.
in this issue, that he went and confronted the guy, and as in the heat of the moment, he became convinced that he was a picked infiltrator, and he shot him and killed him. And
So it's sort of like a PTSD sort of.
yes, that's a part of it.
Okay.
So they're getting into some deep shit, and that makes sense for Tom King because that is part of his own background. He used to be part of the CIA.
Sure. Well, Heroes in Crisis, I mean, tried to wrap its hands around.
It tried.
I never read Heroes in Crisis, and I'm glad I didn't, apparently.
Well, the Wally thing really twisted.
Oh, that's why I didn't read it, because they shat all over Wally West.
They shat all over Wally, yeah.
And they're still picking up the fucking pieces from that.
I've read a lot of things on Heroes in Crisis, dude, in terms of it being a book that's important for people with mental illness. And I've come around a little bit. It just sort of sucks that Wally was the character that he used.
Yeah, Wally was the one that
Wally. I mean, ever since frickin' Rebirth, he's been in this stupid limbo because, well, not even since Rebirth, since Final Crisis, when
exactly.
Barry came back. Barry was dead before I was born. Time had closed that wound. Wally West was my Flash, and they just don't have any fucking idea what to do with him.
Yeah.
We're getting way off topic. Anyway, I'd like Strange Adventures. Okay, your pick now.
I'm gonna have to go back and check out Strange Adventures. I don't think I gave it enough of a chance.
I don't know, man. I read it for 4 issues, and I still dropped it.
Fair enough.
I didn't like it very much.
My favorite issue was the one where it was basically just Mr. Terrific, like monologuing the whole time. But
all right, number one. We're down to it. It's here. My number one, King in Black, number one.
I'm with you. That's my number one also.
Johnny Cates, Ryan Stegman. Finally, Null has arrived. Lord of the Abyss, God of the Symbiotes. He definitely made quite the entrance. The art is amazing.
Yeah, this is like the perfect event book.
Oh, dude, without a doubt.
It's sprawling. It's epic. Great art. It's not super deep, but it's deep enough.
He touches on all of the side characters without them becoming...
Without them taking over. We were talking about Flashpoint earlier. That was the problem with Flashpoint, was it would introduce all of these cool side characters, but at a certain point, those side characters became the story. Whereas this, it still has its main story, its main thrust, and it just it peppers it in those side characters.
War of the Realms, for instance, the main book felt more like a commercial for the tie-ins in a way. Not that I wasn't still entertained, but it really pushed those tie-ins. This sort of just touches on them without really, giving you so much that it loses its focus.
Mm-hmm.
This was nothing but pure doom and gloom. All right, the formula was kind of basic. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, this was a basic story, but it was done well.
Give Null a problem, a big hurdle or an obstacle, and then just have him easily overcome that obstacle.
Well, this is like wrestling booking 101. You know, because the absolute carnage didn't that end with Sentry coming and saving the day, or something like that, or absolute carnage, the last event.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't know. Well, in this one, the big bad comes and he takes care of the old
This is how badass he is, right? These are who he took over. This is who he defeated on the way to Earth.
It's just the Celestials, yeah.
Celestials. So you automatically you're like, uh-oh. Look, and see this last panel? That's him coming out of the chest of one of the Celestials, like he was riding around in it, like as a car. And then, I'll get to that one in a minute. Okay. So again, all right. So after the last event, the Empire event, all of those ships are still in orbit around Earth. They set those up. The Avengers set those up to explode. So those explode. They don't kill the invasion. And then it's just another thing and another thing and another thing and another thing. And then finally, the boy's like, all right, bring out the big gun. And it's Sentry. And it's like, oh, shit, it's on now. But no, Null rips his ass in half. Uses his own finishing move against him.
Yeah.
It's like somebody tombstone pile driving the freaking Undertaker, because this is Sentry doing it to Carnage. Null is this moment.
It looked almost exactly like the layout of the Sentry doing that to Ares and Siege.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is from Siege. His go-to move. Here, I'll go back and forth. Yeah, it is quite identical to everything going on there, and that's got to be on purpose. But yeah, Noel actually says in there, he's like, "Oh yeah, we remember you. You killed the Carnage symbiote that one time. Well, here, let us repay the favor," and owns his ass. Yeah, perfect debut issue for an event. I also read the Union #1. It's like the first tie-in. It was not great. It was not good at all. So yeah, I think I'm just sticking to the main book as well as Venom.
I'm gonna pick up the Valkyrie book because that's like an extension to Jason Aaron's Thor run.
And Jason Aaron's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a book here or there I'm gonna pick up. The one problem I had with this, the main problem, is this. Can you guys pick it out? This is the X-Men moment. When the X-Men
Oh, Cable.
Look at Cable. Not my Cable.
Cable's young now.
Is that old man Cable again?
Old man Cable. Who makes that mistake? Who makes that mistake?
You know what? I'm gonna give Ryan Stegman.
Oh no, he gets
pass
it back because he owned it everywhere else. But still,
because this book looked great.
That's an elbow. It's like, dude, what did you do? Oh yeah, man. Here, I'll bring up all. I'll bring up all this other art again. I mean, it's amazing. It's so damn good. Yeah, they killed it on this event. It's the real deal. I'm excited for it. So I'm definitely in for the main event. I don't know how they're gonna win. It's gonna be Baby Brock.
It's got to be Baby Brock.
But oh man, it was very good. Very, I don't know exactly what you expect from a Marvel event.
Okay,
very big, very exciting. I can't wait to see what happens next.
I didn't jump in on this one mostly because I hate the idea of Noel and his existence. Venom is such an overdone character. Like, he started off as like this cool dark reflection of Spider-Man or whatever, but now there's like this giant convoluted fucking mythology around what was never that complicated of an idea when it comes to the symbiotes.
Sure. The thing about all of that is Donny Cates didn't create all of that.
I know, but...
And it's really cool to me that he took that idea from other people, even recent ideas like the symbiote planet that I think it was Bendis and Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was shit.
But he took that, and again, it was shit, but he took this dumb idea and just expounded on it and moved it forward. And I think it is a kind of I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I get it.
I'm just letting you guys know why I did not pick up on what apparently was a really great event book here.
Yeah, it was.
I skipped out on Death Metal because I hate the idea of the Batman who laughs.
Exactly.
And I skipped out on this because I hate the idea of Null. No, but dude, yeah, it looks pretty dope.
It is, dude. It was really fun. To
me, the gold standard of event books is Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars. How does it stack up with that, do you think?
It's a little early to tell.
It's nowhere near as complex or as deep as that.
And I tend to disagree with you. I think the best comic book event ever was Civil War. And the only reason I say that is Hickman's event requires 80 books of buildup.
Oh, fair enough.
You know what I mean? Civil War, anybody, I don't care who you are. Anybody on the planet basically can pick up Civil War and understand what's going on.
Yeah,
if you pick up Secret Wars, you're going to be like, wait, who are these? And you're going to say that more than once. I like Secret Wars more than Civil War, but it's because I love all those 80 books you got to read to get caught up to it. So
that's absolutely fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So
all right.
You're not wrong. I love that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We know what your number one is.
Yeah, I already tipped my hand earlier. My number one is Black Widow, number 4.
Excellent choice.
The fight scenes in these books have been a masterclass. I love the way that this is more like on a panel by panel basis than the ones they've been usually doing, but it's still really great. I love watching the sequencing of her like moving from place to place, just like wrecking these motherfuckers, using her environment. The artwork by Casagrande here, this has been some really great stuff. I've also been enjoying kind of like the spy muckety muck stuff from the plot standpoint too. And yeah, that's the big finale here is they murdered Natasha's
family.
I was going to say fiance. Yeah, her family right in front of her. Yeah. They were getting married. She bought the wedding dress in the last issue. But yeah, and her son, her actual biological son.
Ooh.
I guess they cloned or manufactured.
Yeah,
or
there's
took-
some revenge
so-
fuel.
This issue had a lot of exposition dump in it. We find out exactly what's been going on, who's been doing it. So apparently, a council of her old enemies have gotten together.
too.
Yeah, including Madame Hydra and the Weeping Lion from that Phil Noto series.
Taskmaster's in there.
Here, this was all part during a flashback scene. The flashback scene art was actually Carlos Gomez and Federico Blee. I thought it was just as good as the Casa Grande and Jordi Belair stuff, but I mean,
they've been lousy with talented artists on this book. Yeah.
And this, the coloring in this, Jordi Belair coloring. This is award-winning work she's doing on this book. She is definitely. I know she's nominated every year for a coloring.
Oh yeah, because she colors like half of comics.
She's nominated for this year, and she should win. Damn it! Look at the coloring job on that. It
looks great.
Yeah, the art alone is worth picking up this book for.
100% agree.
From all aspects of the art, and I've been enjoying the story. I really have been. They're making good use of a lot of the side characters. Some of them like at different levels of Natasha's inner circle here, and this is my favorite, I think, new Marvel series from this year outside of like event stuff.
Very good, and you're not wrong in that pick. I do have a little problem if the whole relationship thing, especially with the exposition dump, like you said in this issue.
Yeah, that's fair.
All feels a little forced, like what you guys have only been together actually like 2 weeks or 4 weeks.
Yeah, but I think they do a good job of explaining that, like, to them, their memories of each other go back years. Although they do explain in this that that's all implanted. Oh, and they also explain that their son was cooked up in a tube somewhere, but it is their actual biological son, and they have a year's worth of memories of them raising this infant son. And so, it really hits
some
hard.
Big revenge fuel. Yeah,
when they freaking blew them up, and it seems to me like this is not a bait and switch. I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with the whole goddamn room exploding behind her there.
Well, I have
well, it's a clone baby, so they could like just make another test tube one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I have 100% confidence in Kelly Thompson. There was a moment in this where she's telling her husband or her fiance to take her child and forget about her and never hear from her. And that was supposed to, I think, have a lot more of a powerful punch. And I'm not sure. See, I don't want to sound off-putting. I'm not sure that I'm the right gender to understand exactly what's going on there. I think you have to be a mother and a wife to understand, to get the full impact of her choice of doing that. And I tried, and I can't tell if it's just my inability to actually share that perspective, or I'm just ignorant and just can't do it, or she's
to be fair, we all know you're ignorant. So
sure.
This is true. It's accepted knowledge.
So maybe was it a failing of me, or is it a failing of Kelly Thompson?
I'm usually inclined to say it's you. Yeah.
It's hard for me.
I thought it was a pretty powerful moment where
it was.
She's telling this and I think it's very in character for her to be like, here's somebody I genuinely love.
Yeah.
You have got to get the hell away from me.
I know, man. I don't know. I guess it's me. It feels like it's
definitely
a powerful punch. Anyway, only question I have for this book: did the bad guys murder her people on purpose, or were they trying to murder everybody?
I assume everybody, because they spend half of this issue basically collectively shitting themselves over the idea that oh shit, her memories are back and we're fucked.
Yeah. So you don't think this is just an attempt to try to push her over into some place where she's going to be off of her?
It could be that. It could be that.
I was thinking.
I mean, Weeping Lion's whole thing, he's the one who got the ball rolling in this direction. Is I don't want her to have this happy life. I want her to suffer. And if he was the one who pulled the trigger, well, not literally pulled the trigger, but made the call, let's kill her family in front of her. I could see that being a thing.
Does Arcade seem like he's out of place now in this whole thing?
A little bit. I mean,
right?
It seems, I don't know that he has any specific beef with Black Widow as much as he was the one who facilitated the situation she was in.
Yeah.
As far as I know, he can bow out of the story now. I have no idea.
I didn't even miss him. He was in here for a page. I think a half a page, maybe.
Everyone else is the one that's the real cadre of villains here. He's just kind of he's a hireling as far as I can tell.
I also love Winter Soldier and Hawkeye. Like you mentioned, I think their banter back and forth. Like, why are you always like this? Winter Soldier to Hawkeye. Why are you like this? You know, why we have an important job here. Can't we just? It was just really interesting. And I thought Thompson just really captured their voices well. And man, you're right, dude. This is such a damn good book, man. I should have had it higher this week. It was damn good. I was shocked at the end. My jaw hit the ground after the explosion. Here, I'll bring up that beautifully colored explosion again. Just marvelous. Anyway, man, good run of books this week. I'm so happy. Last week was shit.
It was,
except for the X-Men stuff, which was still just kind of.
And it's gone now. And
now
it's never
gone.
coming back.
Never. All right. Anyway, that was it. That was our show. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We're going to do this again tomorrow, but we're going to talk about the books coming out next week, which, man, there's a stack of dope books coming out next week. Holy crap. So stick to this channel that you're on. You're either on Facebook, YouTube, or Periscope over there on Twitter. If you're on those platforms, Google us on those other two platforms and find us, like us, follow us over there. Outright Geekery on all of those places. Share the show with your friends. Tell your buddies. Tell your ma. Tell your pa. What else? Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow we're doing previews. But Tuesday, top five. Finally, graphic novels and trade paperbacks. I got to go remember and actually create that damn.
Got to create the show.
The show. I can do it before. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, I got to get it done. The Comic Book Bullies are going to be here. Along with Jules and Taylor is going to be here. It's going to be a full load. I hate my list. I hate it so much. It's so hard for me to choose, man. It's arbitrary anyway. Top how? Top what?
Well, you'll just be happy to get it over with. You know, it's like giving a presentation in a school class. You know, you'll just be happy once it's over with.
Exactly.
Your list is out there.
Just think of this as an opportunity to gush about some of your favorite books.
And that's
fun.
I'm going to get crapped on for a couple of these picks, but I'm really hoping to crap on some other people's picks. I'm excited. Unfortunately, Adam will not be there. But he wants us to go on because we've been pushing it for so long. We've been postponing it. So tune in for that. It's going to be Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we're going to do Geekterion Collection Gremlins.
Yep. I will be there for that.
It's going to be so much
pick.
fun.
Yep.
Yeah, it's your pick. You have to be there. So yeah, that's going to be great. So yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. Stay tuned. We got a lot more stuff going on. We got a ton of other shows. The aforementioned Comic Book Bullies. Okay, Boomer. 5-minute reviews. What else we got, man? Creators Outlet with Big Willie interviewing creators. His P-Post interview last week was awesome. It was really cool. So yeah, we got a ton of shit going. We're going to be adding more hopefully in the new year coming as well. So but most of all, thanks for these two jokers for hanging out with this joker.
Anytime, man.
We're gonna do it all again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
I go to the video right after. What, Taylor?
That was just like the energy he brought. I appreciate it.
It still looks really fake.